Hey, this is Dr. Linda Davis, and today I want to work through an Access database, and it's going to be the Mountain Animal Hospital database. And I'm going to show you how to do a query first. So we'll have a query for outstanding balance. Let me bring that up. This is just the people who actually owe money greater than zero, and we've built this query to reflect that. Now, from the query, I'm going to build a report because I didn't want my access report to show anybody with a zero balance. I just wanted it to pull out those values that were greater than zero. So that's where the outstanding balance query comes in. I built that first, and then I want to build a report based on the outstanding balance query. So I've called the report also outstanding balance. So I want to show you that report. So this report, it didn't come out this pretty to begin with, but we formatted it, and I wanted to show you how to format these reports to make them more, readable. So we named it outstanding balance, of course, for the report. We've got a column for customer number. We've got a column for customer name. And I'm going to show you how to break apart so that customer number doesn't all run out straight like that. And so we're going to refine that. We're going to refine customer name and not let it just wrap all the way out this way. We want to wrap it down below. Same thing for outstanding balance, and just kind of move things around so they set up better. And we also initially we changed the customer name and customer number. We kind of flipped these columns, okay? And then we tightened it up so we didn't have so much white space going on, in between. We could tighten this one up even further if we wanted to. I also wanted to show you how to add a footer with your name and your course name in there as well. So let's get started on this process. Now, I'm following the handout that I put in to this module for you. So here we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete these that I've already got in there. And let's see, it's open, so that's why. Let me get out of all this so I can delete out these so we can create them again. So let me exit out of this one that I showed you. So outstanding balance, let me delete that one out. And let me delete the report called outstanding balance. Let me delete that one out as well. There we go. Okay, so I'm starting basically where you're starting at. Now I want to create the query first. So I'm going to go to create, and then we're going to go query design. And this just involves the customer table because it's just about, what the customer owes the Mountain Animal Hospital. It's not concerning actually the pets this time, so it's just customer. So just going to add the customer table to this query, and let me close this out. And let me reveal all the different fields that are in this particular query. Now, in the handout, I tell you to select customer number, which double-clicking on it puts it down below. And customer name, same thing there, double click on that, puts it down below. And the third item we need is outstanding balance, because this is how we find out who actually owes money. So we're going to double click on that field and have it show up down below. Now to build the query, the criteria is that I only am interested in customers who owe more than $0. So I'm going to put for criteria greater than 0. That's all I need to have in there, greater than 0, so that I can run the query. Okay, so let me click on run, and then that gives me the list of people from the database that owe money that are greater than 0 for their balance. Okay, now I need to save this query, so I'll just hit the save button up here, and we'll call it, of course, outstanding balance, and say okay. Now, when you look over at queries, you'll see outstanding balance is one of your new queries here. I next want to build a report. So maybe my boss wants a report on who owes, and they want more than just to look at a query. So what I can do is just go back up to create, and this time I'm going to go to the report wizard, which works very nicely, I will say. And it's already set up for query, and it remembers that you just did outstanding balance. And yes, that's the one we're going to pick, but obviously if I click on the down arrow, you'll see all the different queries and tables represented. But we will stick with query for the outstanding balance there. Okay. Now, available fields is on this side, and selected fields are over here. So we got to tell it what fields to consider. Actually, we want all 3 of these fields to show up on our Access report. Now, you can click one at a time and have them each come over by clicking that little arrow. And let me back that up for just a minute. Now, if you want to send them all 3 over here at the same time, this button below the double arrow, that double arrow just means send all 3 fields over there. Or whatever's over here, send all of it over to this side. So that's just a little bit of a shortcut for you. Now, let's go to the next button. And On this one, I think we just breeze right past through it and we just say next again. And you can sort records up to 4 fields. Now, we're not going to get that complex with it, but I do want to show you a couple different ways. I could either select it, have it sorted by customer name or customer number, or outstanding balance. Now, if I do customer name, I would say ascending, because that would means it would put their names in alphabetical order. And on this one, actually, it puts their first name in alphabetical order. But anyway, so that would be ascending. Now, if I wanted to do descending, or if I wanted to do by outstanding balance, so like if I sorted it by outstanding balance, like please put them in descending order, because I would want to start with the people who owe the most money at the top and the people who owe the least amount of money at the bottom. So that would be a descending order in that case, if you want to do it like that. And I don't care which way you do it, it's fine with me either way. Somewhat from a management perspective, you might want it in the outstanding balance descending order, so you can see who owes you the most money at the top. But anyway, so maybe I'll leave it like that and under descending, and then I'll just go next. The layout, tabular is fine. For the orientation, portrait is fine for this one. And we'll go next, and then it will say, what title do you want for your report? Well, I may just change it a little bit and at least capitalize outstanding and capitalize balance, or the B in balance. And then your two choices are preview the report or modify the report's design. I'm not going to modify anything. I think it's okay as it is. So I'm going to say preview the report, which means you're kind of finished with it. So you just need to say finish. It's going to generate the report. Now, it may not be pretty. It may not format or look as pretty as the one I showed you initially, because I moved a lot of things around. And that's the other part. I want to show you how to edit this so that you can move things around on this and get things in the right order that you want, as far as, which column you want to be first, which column you want to be second and third. And then, some other things you can do to make this report a little bit better. So what I want to do here is right click on this. If I don't like the way it looks, I can certainly do a lot with it. So on this part, I want to go to design view. So I just right clicked up here or up here, either way, and I can go to design view, and that gives me a wealth of things I can try and do. Now, you don't have to worry about all this information really right here on the right side. Just focus on the different sections here that we're going to work in. So let me just actually, some of these I can kind of get my double arrow and kind of expand it out as needed. But the other thing I want to do, let's just actually go through here and outstanding balance. If you like the way, see, these are just basically text boxes, and you can go in and edit that or change the letters or whatever if you needed to. But this is set and good, so I'm just going to leave it like that. You can get the 4 arrows and move them, or you can get the double arrow and widen it or shrink it, either way, if you need to. And that's what I'm going to do between the page header and the detail. Now, you may notice under page header you have outstanding balance, but also under detail you have outstanding balance. So you say, well, why do I have 2? Well, one's just the header that says outstanding balance, and underneath that's the actual value that's outstanding balance. Okay. Now this one I kind of wanted to sort it by outstanding balance, so that's why it's showing up first, and that's fine. So I can actually move this around a lot. I have outstanding balance, I have customer number, and then customer name. And I can flip these back and forth a little bit. So we'll just work with this and see what you come up with. Now on outstanding balance, the header part, I may want that to actually, and I'll be back and forth changing it as I look at it and decide what looks best. Let me go home, and you have your text formatting tools kind of on the opposite side of what you're used to. So I'm going to take it back to align left for the header outstanding balance. And I'm going to have, now this is the actual outstanding balance values, okay? I don't think it needs to be that wide for one thing, and I don't think that needs to be that wide, so I'm going to shrink that up a little bit by pulling that back in. Okay. And you want to keep them on top of each other, that's for sure. Now customer number, I may want that on the other side. I mean, it's just up to you how it best serves you. So let me take the customer numbers just for demonstration purposes and push them over here. And then I have room for customer name, so I'm going to get the 4 arrows and pull that back here. Pull that one back. Remember, I want these all to, to stay with each other vertically. Customer name, that field doesn't have to be so wide because it's just saying customer name. This field actually has the customer name listed, and some names are long, but I don't think it needs to be quite that long. So let me go back, and I'll have to flip back and forth between design view and report view to just see how that's affecting. Now obviously these are too far over, so I'm going to pull these back. Same here, get the 4 arrows and pull that back, and I may even come in a little closer. And also I want to show you how to add an extra text label. Like in the page footer, I kind of would like for you to add your own name in there. So let's do this. We can go into the Design tab under Report Design Tools. And this little area here has some controls in it. So this is just adding a text label basically. So I can click on that. I can draw myself a little text box right there in the page footer. And I can say, or have you put your name in there, your real name, and then we'll just say the course name ISN 4011, and that will show up in the report. And we can also just kind of check it out. If anything's misaligned or whatever, or too much white space in between, we can come back into this screen and fix it. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you flip from one screen to the next? Well, probably more than one way, but we can go up here to the kind of the window of it, and then just right click, and you see how you have report view and design view. You can flip back and forth between report view and design view to fix what you need to fix. So I may not like this first go around with this, so let me see. Report view, what's it look like? Okay, well, there's outstanding, that's the values, that's the names, and that's the customer number. Okay, it's a good start, but there's some things I still can do on this. For instance, maybe I don't like outstanding balance taking up so much room and all run together up here. Same with customer name and customer number. Let's go back and fix that. So I'm going to go back, same way, just right click on that window bar up there and just go back to design view. And what I want to do is break this up, outstanding balance. I want that to be on 2 lines. So I'm just going to plant my cursor in between the G in outstanding and the B in balance, and I'm going to do Shift Enter and break it out like that. If you want to pull it down, you can. Let's see. There we go. Customer name, same thing. Plant my cursor in between customer and name, do a little Shift Enter, and break that out. Same thing with customer number. Okay. That's just the headings anyway. So let's see. That one looks like it might be a little low. Let me just use my little arrow keys to get that back in shape. Okay, and let me stop and save, and let me look at it. Let me go back to report view and see if it looks a little better. Okay, I like that better, but what I don't like is the fact that the numbers are way over here and outstanding balance is way over there. So I can fix that. So I'm going to go back again to design view. And I'm going to, we can do a couple things. I can physically move the whole box, or I can just go back to home and say, hey, let's make this align right. Shift it over that way. Let's see how that looks. I'll save it, go back to report view. Much better. Now outstanding balance is setting on top of those balances. They are in descending order of value, and there's the customer name, and then there's the customer numbers. Okay, there's your footer name down there with your name, and your course name is in there as well. Okay, so that's one way to do it. And only thing else I might do is just push this over a little bit. Let's see. Go back to design view, and let's see. I think I can just narrow that up a little bit and then move it all over. Same thing with that. Narrow that up. Because I mean, even though you say, oh, balance got cut off, but that's the actual value, so that's not such a big deal. And let me scoot that over some, and then maybe I just scoot everything else over as well. Since I don't really want any excessive white space going on in my reports. So I'm just kind of gently moving them over. Same thing over here. Let's bring customer number over there too. Okay. And we'll save. And we'll go back and look at our report view again, and it's getting better and better. So I like that I like that a lot. Okay. So at that point, it's just obviously I think we did a save on that already, but there is your finished report with a little extra, formatting done along the way. So I hope this example helps you learn how to create a query, build an Access report based on that query, and then format that Access report. Thank you for your time.